Good morning everyone and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be replacing the gutter chain in our milking barn. But first we got to let the cows out and then we'll bring some tools up here and start assembling the chain. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, it's the last time that this gutter chain will take out a load of manure. So the way our manure removal system works in this barn is a gutter with a chain at the bottom of it that drags it all the way around the barn, and then it goes into this pit where there's an auger at the bottom, goes up the auger and into whatever kind of manure spreader you'd have. That's how our manure removal system works in our dairy barn. It's pretty old school, but it still works. Alright, so we finished letting the cows out of the barn. We got everything cleaned up in there, especially since we're going to be working on the gutter chain. We really put in the extra effort to clean out around the gutter and the chain itself. We got our pallet of parts up here and a bunch of tools ready to go. So we're gonna start assembling and tearing the old one out of the barn. But first, my dad's gonna talk a little bit about the gutter chain and what we're doing today.
So we're replacing this chain, this gutter chain today. And this would be my third one. We started here in 91. The chain was only 6 months old then. And I think we replaced that one in 04. And we first had a chute where it went up a chute on the outside and it would have to pull harder, and then we put the auger in 01 and then it doesn't pull as hard. The other difference is we got a lot more concrete in the barnyard further back from the door, which we have a lot of sand in the hills around the barn here, so the cows used to drag in a lot more sand with the manure on their hooves, which is very abrasive like sandpaper, and it's in the gutter, it's in the manure. So the chain wears out faster. Now that things are cemented out further back, it's not as much of that. Sometimes the barn line will do some of that. So we're going to be keeping cows in probably within a week. We're already late October, and it's always a good idea to stay ahead of these things because it's not going to break on a nice day. It's going to be a sub-zero morning, which we've been there before. So we're going to replace this chain. This is a J&D chain. Several companies make it. We don't have a sprocket. I've tried to get one. It's with everything going on, we actually ordered this chain in the spring already so we'd have it, and we always get a little bit extra, maybe several extra of these because it does stretch, so that trying to get the older one loose is not so great. So we'll use a cut-off saw like this just to cut out a section to retighten it afterwards. But so, and this chain is reversible. This is always an interesting thing. When they make the paddles, ours is a clockwise. They call it a clockwise, the way the barn cleaner runs, and there's barns that run counterclockwise depending on how they're set up, but you could put these paddles on the opposite side of the chain, which will make run the other way. And actually, it's kind of interesting. They got where you could almost, I never seen it done this way, but you could probably put in, you know, twice as many paddles as we normally have. Now these are 16 inches. This is a 16-inch gutter. There's 18-inch gutters too. Usually they'll grade them up simply because they're so wide that the cows crossing them aren't so good when they do that. And then the only difference is the angle iron ends up being 2 inches longer. So, and I think this is 12 feet. Everything comes in boxes, disassembled. So we got to put this whole thing together. We got an air inch here to, we're going to get that all lined up here. And then when that's all done, then we're going to take out our old chain and throw that on a pallet, and then lay our new chain on the barn walk, attach it all together with our connectors, and then put it into the gutter. And we should, and probably we're going to look at our corner wheels too. They ain't too hard to pull them out, make sure they're taking grease yet and things like that, and they're not wore too bad. So we just want to stay ahead of this type of stuff. It's always easier.
All right, we got all the links assembled. Talk about a tedious job. Hats off to any of you that work in manufacturing or any kind of factory-like setting. I don't know if I could do that every day, but we got it done. All that's left to do for assembly is to connect the links together, or we're gonna wait till we're in the barn. And right now we're gonna pull the old one out. So
Okay, we're gonna have to loosen the chain up here, and this big turnbuckle here is got quite a bit of tightening on it. Probably something I should have did a few days ago, because it helps soak into all the rust. See, then this whole unit will slide back. You gotta watch the square block here. That's what pulls it. Usually if I just turn the thing on, it pushes it. So I don't have to pull it, but I suppose everything is just a little bit tight from rust and when they're packed in the joints. There's bringing it. No, maybe that's enough to get started. Gotta get in here with the cutoff and cut it simply because everything is so rusted down that it don't pay to take it apart, try to find the connections. They're probably quite worn. Drive right in here with the bobcat. Right out onto a pallet. And you look right here, there's a whole piece missing that went over the top of this, and these pedals are like really thin this way. You can almost see like the divot in there. They probably wore down ½ inch in some places. So there's no shoe left, and you can only about imagine how bad they are in the pins. But again, you'll never know how bad it is till it breaks, and it will be a very cold date and things like that. So.
Talk about a dirty job. We got that done in like 5 minutes. Wasn't very easy, but we got it done.
So we got these wheels. They're kind of in a groove. See, there's like a shaft. I thought it would come out a little easier than that. Maybe the other one will pop out easier. It's coming. There we go. Guess we just have to struggle a while. It wouldn't be farming if we weren't struggling. We'd have to call it something else. Okay, take a good look at things here. These wheels, when they were new, they were smooth, but they got a little ripple in them, which is not a problem. Okay, so we got the wheel out. There's a brass bushing in here. That's a replaceable part if we want it to be, and I don't think this is too bad. The main thing is they're always turning. And this end doesn't have a grate on, so we always see it, and if it's not, we have to clean it out or grease it. And then this shaft, there's a groove in this shaft, which you can see here, and the plate how it goes in, it fits right in there and holds your wheel in. So actually the pressure of the chain keeps it in place. There's a zircon top, there's a hole somewhere in there, we got to clean that up. Then you got these two bushings, one on the top, one on the bottom. Can be a little trick to get that all back in there, but we got 3 wheels like that, so we're going to get them all cleaned up and slid back in, make sure the grease is in there real good and everything. We're going to get at it. Can you turn it? This might go to be one of the dirtiest jobs. I know one thing, I'd rather be messing with cow shit than other shits. And you got it. That should do it. There we go. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna lay them right down our barn walk, all end to end, and we're gonna put them together right here on the walk where it's dry. And try not to get any lime or any junk in our threads. And once they're all together for the most part, then we just set it in the gutter the whole way. And then we work on our end, trying to get it through the return and stuff later on. So. Get the sprocket. I think there's 3 bolts. They're like shear pins. Got one right there, one there, one on the inside. And we're going to turn it around. I tried to get this new, and I don't know, we seem to have trouble getting one. I can't find one. But I think if we turn it around, it should be acting like a new sprocket again, because it's never been reversed with this other chain. Now we got one big bolt on the bottom, so it'll be a matter of either cutting them off, or they probably will break off trying to wrench them, I hope, so we don't have to fight too long. See here? And then here's the back side. That's still new yet. So we turn it around. So spring that on just a tiny bit at a time here. Now pull your chain. Now again. 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 Yeah. There. I don't want your head. You want your head back. You got quite a bit out. Was this side going? Yeah, looks like it's already going. Pretty darn close. can't go wider than this because it'd fall out of the return. But you can have two paddles closer together, like you could have a paddle in between. So cut this link out and connect it up.
All right, that big project is done. That's a good feeling. Heck, for a while there, it could have been an episode of Dirty Jobs, but anyways, wanted to thank you guys for watching the video. We really appreciate it, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe and check out our other videos. We'll see you next time.